Mike Israetel just got exposed by Solomon Nelson for being a fraud. In his latest post, Solomon debunked Mike's whole PhD in an hour-long video that has gone absolutely viral over the past few days, going over many critical issues with Mike Israetel's dissertation.
So naturally, when I got my hands on Mike Israetel's PhD thesis, I expected a masterwork, an intellectual tour de force. Instead,
I'm a perfectionist asshole with a PhD. Yeah, hell yeah, that's why I say shit like that.
Dr. Mike, geez, that's a big deal. And I've noticed that carries a lot of weight. Like all I feel is rage and frustration.
What I got was a document so sloppy, shallow, and confused, it could only pass in a system that had already failed.
The thing is a mess from top to bottom, so we are going to go over all the issues with the dissertation itself, from typos to spelling mistakes to statistical nonsense all over the place that makes you wonder what the hell happened here. Then we're gonna read some comments because man, they are really good, and at the end we are going to go over what this means for the fitness industry. So let's get into some of the issues with the dissertation. So first issue is that his thesis doesn't give us any new information. It just says that more muscular athletes are stronger than someone who isn't muscular, and leaner athletes jump higher than someone who is fat, which anyone with the age of 5 and above could tell you. That's common sense. You don't really need a study for this since it's already been studied a lot of times in the past. It provides no novel insights, no analysis, and no meaningful contribution to the field, and shows a lack of research and work, which says a lot for the rest of the document. Now, a second major issue is that some charts don't even make sense. For the lowest performing college athletes, the mean age is 19.9, which is fine since they are of college age, but the standard deviation is 21.2. How does that even happen? This practically means that for his test samples, athletes are between the age of 19.9 minus 21.2, which is equal to minus 1.3, or 19.9 plus 21.2, which is equal to 41.1. So his test sample for college athletes contains subjects with the age of minus 1 years old and 41 years old. I don't know about you, but I never saw someone in high school who's minus 1 year old, nor have I seen a student who's 40 years old, except maybe the teachers, but those aren't students anyway. The formatting and proofreading are terrible. Tons of misspelled words, sections copied and pasted multiple times with the same errors. Bibliography and punctuation are all over the place. This is middle school level carelessness. Citations don't say what he claims, and this is a pattern. I've seen page ranges going backward, misrepresented sources, and redefined terms as his own. What I love about his video is that it probably involved more work for Solomon Nelson to make this video than for Mike to write his dissertation. I'd like to interrupt for a moment. If you're enjoying this video, I would really appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Alright, let's get back to the video. And yet, he leans on his doctorate constantly. How many times have you heard him start his videos on the Renaissance Periodization channel by saying Dr. Mike? He makes sure everyone knows that he's a doctor at every possible opportunity he gets. The more someone shoves their doctorate down your throat, the bigger it's a red flag. For example, someone in the comment section says that Shaquille O'Neal is a doctor, which, by the way, I had no idea, and I'm pretty sure you didn't know it either. Shaquille just doesn't need to mention it every 5 minutes since he brings more to the table than just that. Real expertise shines without constant self-promotion. It's embarrassing for the entire field. Eastern Tennessee University, his advisor, the exercise science program, science lifting, they all look bad because of this work. Because he is one of the most well-known exercise scientists, he uses that in every single title of his videos. This dissertation is sloppy, uncritical, and derivative. It makes the discipline itself look weak, and people in the community are still not calling it out enough. I just hope people would stop collaborating with this charlatan. Let's talk fanboys. Some defend him just because he's a doctor. That's lazy thinking. You don't automatically get credibility because of letters after your name. Real critical thinking matters. He promotes himself as an exercise scientist, but the actual exercise scientists who really know the science know how full of shit he is, even if they don't say it publicly. Now let's go over some of the best comments of Solomon's video. Wow, you just prove Mike's take on 1 year to become an authority in your field. If this is what he sees as authority, then 1 year is indeed enough to become one. It's always the ones who talk the most shit about how great they are. Then when you actually look at what they do, whether it's their body of work on stage or whether it's their body body of work on paper, kind of shit either way. It cannot be emphasized enough how disgracefully poor the quality of his PhD is. The fact that Mike, again not Dr. Mike, proudly pronounces himself as a doctor should be called out and mocked eternally. He's never gonna live this down. He's done 3 posts on Instagram. All the comments were like, are you going to respond? What is there to say? What is he going to say? It's indefensible. You're telling me I could have gotten a PhD by writing a paper that says athletic people are athletic without even grammar or punctuation checking in? New method to become a doctor just dropped. No need to study for years. Just write the most outstanding piece of common knowledge there is. Congrats, you just became a doctor. And now, the best comment of them all. This isn't Mike's fault that thesis is so bad. The supervisor didn't apply Mike's 10 correctly before Mike submitted his thesis, and I would also bet that it had love handles with a good 20 pounds of water in them too. Mike's doctorate gives him perceived authority, which impresses people who don't think critically. While it's fine for someone who legitimately earned a PhD to mention it occasionally, Mike didn't truly earn it, and calling himself an exercise scientist is misleading. This reflects poorly on Eastern Tennessee University and the advisor, Mike Stone, and tarnishes Mike Israetel's reputation permanently. Although it might be embarrassing, he may not feel shame and could simply ignore the issue, which is what he seems to do. Over the years, the fitness industry credibility has declined due to hubris and attention-seeking behavior, and this situation may be the final blow. Thank you for having watched until the end. If you have enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you like and subscribe to my channel.